Hi, it's Valerie. I wanted to come on today and share something with you that I don't think I've done a video on before. And it came up earlier in a visit that I had with a client. And I was like, if we were in the office, I would have pulled this out and talked to you about it and showed it to you. But because we're virtual, it makes it a little trickier. And this was a telephone client. And so there's no visual. So I thought I would do a video and let everybody see what I'm talking about. So this is the concept of the precious child, and it comes out of Pia Mellody's work out of the Meadows in Wickenburg, Arizona. And I'm a Meadows trained therapist, as I've said before. And so basically, I got trained on this out of graduate school like the same year. And then I've been using it ever since. So I want to show you this chart. It looks like this. Okay, so I don't know if you're going to be able to read this right because of video. Anyway, take a screenshot, see if you can flip it. I don't know how to do this. Anyway, let me go over it and see if it makes any sense. Okay, so this is the concept of the precious child down this side. It says the nature of the child is that they are valuable, they are vulnerable, they are imperfect, they have needs and wants, and they're basically full of spontaneity and excitement for life. When you feel valuable, when you're treated as valuable as a child, you grow up experiencing your value. When you're treated as vulnerable, that means you're protected. Your safety is a concern of all the types. And then imperfect, it means that you're allowed to make mistakes. You spill your milk, it's just developmentally appropriate. Your body's growing and you misplaced your hand or whatever. Having needs and wants, that means that your parents help you learn how to put your needs ahead of your wants so that you can take care of yourself in a balanced way with needs coming first in adulthood. And spontaneous and open, when you're an adult, that means that you experience joy. You know how to balance your life because of these things. You treat yourself as valuable. You protect yourself, you understand your value, and you protect yourself. You give yourself permission to be imperfect. We say perfectly imperfect. And you take care of your needs and wants, and in that order. And then you can enjoy your life. So basically, her mechanism, as it's explained in an audio file that's not available at the moment, is that these are the core issues of developmental immaturity. And basically, if you're not treated as valuable, you'll develop the core issues of immaturity, meaning self-esteem issue. Self-esteem issues here. So if you're not treated as valuable as a child, you'll develop self-esteem issues because you'll have a hard time valuing yourself. And if you're not treated as vulnerable, meaning that you're worthy of protection, then you have trouble protecting yourself, which is your boundaries. Like, where do I end and where do other people's responsibility for themselves begin? What are my responsibilities in my world? And you expect other people to take care of you, basically. Reality issues. This is like if you're not accepted as being imperfect as a child growing up, you're going to have trouble with feeling like you're all bad or all good, which is black and white thinking, which is single-digit childhood. Santa Claus is all good, the boogeyman is bad, that kind of thing. So you'll have trouble experiencing nuances of reality. And then here are the dependency issues. You might become too dependent or anti-dependent. So maybe because you weren't taught how to have and experience your needs and wants, and your parents didn't teach you that, then you will probably have trouble with balancing interdependence. So you might be dependent on somebody for emotional regulation, or you might be dependent on somebody for financial support, or you might be moving away from people on multiple levels. You might not like people or feel like they're going to hurt you all the time. So this stems from this core developmental need, which is needs and wants are important, and your parents teach you that. And then if you're not able to be spontaneous and open, so these are going to be the over-controlled kids, or there's no structure. So either over-controlled or no structure. You have trouble with moderation. So you flip and flop around between being out of control or being in control, or as Pia says, being in control of being out of control. You give yourself permission to not be responsible and wreak havoc in your life, or you're so much in control because that's the only way you're going to feel safe that you can't have relationship really at a deep level. Now that's the core issues. The secondary symptoms of these, the conditions of the precious nature of the precious child, is that you'll develop negative control issues, resentment. Resentment is victim anger. That's what Pia says. Spirituality. If you're not allowed to be imperfect and accept who you are as human, how are you going to have any sort of relationship with spirituality? If you're never taught how to balance your needs and your wants, you're going to develop addiction issues, depression, or physical illnesses. These things are related to your body, right? Because this is where the truth is held, in the body. And then if you're never allowed to experience joy in life, because these things are not in sync, you're going to have intimacy issues. Intimacy is really just knowing yourself at a deep level and allowing others to know you at a deep level. And I want to say safety is important in this. You don't want to just think everybody's safe for you, but this is like where you test and you actually, in a moderate way. So you're going to actually look, you're going to be boundaried, and you're going to see whether somebody is safe over time, right? You learn to trust them, and then you're going to give them a little more information about you. And then the relational problems. So the nature of when you've got issues of childhood trauma, and this is relational. I want to point that out. Yes, it can be abuse. When your relational needs are not met, this is what I find in my work. It means that you weren't valued and all of these things we talked about, but it leads to the core issues of developmental immaturity and the secondary symptoms of unmanageability. Relational problems are these. So you're going to have relational esteem issues, like can you keep yourself as yourself in a relationship? There's all kinds of nuances of blame, maybe, in relationships. Enmeshment and avoidance issues, such as feeling like you're going to die if somebody leaves, or feeling like you have to get away because somebody is sucking the life out of you, because you didn't know how to do boundaries. So this is all related. Dishonesty, you have trouble telling the truth, and it's not even that you choose to not tell the truth, it's that you don't know your truth. And because there hasn't been relational support when you were growing up and your nervous system was growing in. Problems with interdependence, I mentioned that earlier. I mean, ultimately a healthy relationship is about asking for help, accepting help, giving help when it's asked for. All of these nuances of relationship can be navigated easily. Intensity issues, these are the people that might blow up, or people who shut down. And these are the people that have trouble regulating or moderating when they get dysregulated and their nervous system is hijacked back in the back of the brain, which is earlier in development. So the developmental immaturity graph is important when I want someone to understand the overview of this, this mechanism to understand what's happening. And yeah, so it's complex. This chart represents like a whole week of training for me and 2 years of supervision. So don't think it's going to make sense overnight, and it's not linear. So the chart makes it look like it's linear, but it's really not linear. And we're popping around all over here, and they're all going on at once, especially for those of us who've had relational difficulty in attaching or bonding or feeling confident in our stability emotionally for parts of our childhood, parts of our prenatal experience, our own birth experience, and then also how our parents got their needs met. So this is also not something to beat yourself up with based on your parenting. This is to look at for your own experience so that you can understand more about yourself, to know where you might need to address issues. And yeah. So anyway, I know it's a long video. It's a complex system, but that's what I help my clients navigate. So, all right, thanks. Bye.